What if you knew that every time you went in the direction of your true dreams, what your heart and soul really crave and know and feel to be true for you, that the brain and your cells actually begin to change? How would that alter what you do and the way you think and proceed? Because when I understood that, suddenly it gave me like a whole new energy, that I knew that it wasn't just, thinking differently or, and all in the head, but I was actually literally changing, because the person that is living that life that we envision, that higher life that we envision, that person is very different often from the one who isn't, who is kind of longing for it, who is looking towards it and feels separate from it. Suddenly, we're having new thoughts, we have new feelings, we are taking new actions. Our simplest habits and behaviors begin to change because we've literally shifted the energy in ourselves. And that is something that you can use as a piece of information to really support yourself to start making the shifts that you desire. So I did this once. I remember I was actually reading a book that was kind of talking about this, the power of the heart and the brain and coherence. And it got me so excited. I decided to actually kind of lie down and almost enter like a dream or lucid kind of state. So really relax the body while keeping the mind alert. And my intention was a business intention. And I wanted to jump to a new level. And so while I was reading, I allowed myself to really relax and take in this information, and just for fun, total fun, started imagining my brain was actually rewiring to experience this result that I now felt ready for, that I felt excited for. And I was playing it like a game, and there's a beauty when we enter play instead of acting like, okay, this is the recipe that's going to get my result. Because had I done that, I probably would have just created a lot of effort and stress in my head. But instead, because I was being very playful, I was using my imagination along with my body. And in that experience, I remember it literally, like, I felt movement in my head in a way that I'd never felt before. And it was like I was drawing in the kind of energy that I really wanted. And I was like imagining redirecting myself towards this desire that I wanted. And, I played with this for a while until it just felt complete. We don't want to go to the point again where we're in stress mode. So I just enjoyed it as fully as I could. And when I felt like, okay, it was starting to slip away, it was like, okay, just relax, just fine. It's okay. You're done. And, throughout that week, I kept kind of staying with that idea, and I would write about it, and I would, imagine it, and I would just physiologically, I'd be shifting my state, like I'm about to, like I have it, right? And all of that energy. And I remember one day I was listening to something, and it just, kind of stoked the fire even further. And I was like, yeah, this is so true. And then I went on to write a post about it. And I kid you not, but within 1 minute or maybe 30 seconds, it was like so sudden. I had posted it, walked away, and I heard a little, ding on my phone, and I went, oh, what's that, right? So I went to go check the message, and somebody had just read the post and said, I would like to talk to you. And so this was within a few days of that exercise that I did. And so, we booked an appointment for her. And she ended up being one of my new clients, and also at this new level that I had intended, that I was like, I'm ready for this now. I'm prepared for this. And this is what I now offer. And it was, first of all, practically instantaneous. Like, I don't think I'd ever had such a response so quick, especially for something of that size and that kind of package. And it was also quite aligned. I could, from the things this person told me, I saw there was a match, right? And because there was a match, I was very happy to receive that and to provide some guidance and the recommendations and allow this person to make their decision. And when she did, we just got on right with it. And I remember it wasn't even it was before our first session. She had already taken a new step. And that step was fully in support. So it was like she was aligned to make a major shift in her world. And I was aligned to work with somebody at that level. And, the two things collided and came together. And I know that it was me shifting into that state and doing this playful exercise and taking a fact that really supported the way I think and what resonates with me, that allowed that momentum, that energy to really rise to a point where boom, like a result showed up very quickly. So use the things that you learn in the best way possible for the results that you desire. Know that everything is working towards you and make the decision to experience it that way, to receive it that way, to use it that way, to claim it working for you. And that's exactly what I did. And it's not something that I find with those kind of playful things, this is not about, let me do it 10 more times and get more, because that takes away the play, right? So, I'll use different approaches, different techniques, and most of them really what they're doing is they're just loosening me up. They're letting me relax. They're letting me get out of my rigid way of thinking and start moving in connecting with what is actually possible and what is available. And if I really desire it in that moment, that means there is a readiness for it, right? So I'm going to do what it takes. And I did it, as you know, I did it via that playful exercise, but I also followed through. I didn't just leave it at that. I then, I wrote things every day to really keep that energy moving. I was listening to something that inspired me and I took action right away. I wasn't like, okay, well, maybe tomorrow I'll post that, or that's a good idea. No, I did it in the moment. And then I let it go. Like I wasn't even expecting that particular post would do anything, but it was like a message that I really felt called to share. And obviously it rang true for somebody who was also in a space where they wanted significant change. And, this person had been stuck for quite a while and in a negative space. And, just our initial call, as she was signing up, gave her that level of support that, as I said, she already started taking action before our first session and made an excellent decision that really helped support and increase her state of energy as well. And so that's what I find happens when people do come to me. There is a readiness and they're willing to do what it takes. And that makes the whole process actually really exciting. And we can work, and we're raising that energy together. We're working on it because we know it's available. That's why we're getting these callings, right, within inside us. And so if that's something that, you can imagine you would love to have support on, click the link below and book a session with me, and let's see what you're going to create next.